and anybody who tells you they don't is lying.
Glee is a musical comedy about a show choir with a mission to win nationals, as well as some small measure of popularity within the halls of McKinley High. By embracing everything from show tunes to classic rock, Glee has reinvigorated and reinvented the musical.
What makes Glee work is that it's centered around a choral group. So yes, I mean, we have these kids singing where they should be singing, on a stage and in their chorus room. So it's not that much of a stretch. It's kids who love singing.
Of course, singing in a Glee club doesn't help where it matters most in high school.
Don't you get it, man? We're all losers.
Their casting directors did an incredible job of finding the most talented group of weirdo kids out there. Everybody hates me.
You think Glee Club is going to change that?
It's about, you know, the kids who aren't always represented.
I get a lot of kids who are like, I never had seen a kid in a wheelchair on TV before.
People can look at it and go, I look at Kurt and I see myself in him. Or that happened to me in high school.
I don't want to be the guy that just drives around throwing eggs at people.
That was you?
You and your friends threw people into me.
I know.
I literally had grown up being one of those kids. I knew what it was like to be in those rehearsals and be singing those songs. I knew it had an audience because I was the audience.
Everybody's got a little bit of a secret. Everybody's got something that is their tenderness, and when they go into the Glee Club, they're embraced for it as opposed to getting a slushie in the face.
We're all here for the same reason. Because we want to be good at something.
Even their choir director is on the receiving end of his fair share of bullying.
I don't trust a man with curly hair. I can't help picturing small birds laying sulfurous eggs in there, and I find it disgusting.
Glee moves effortlessly from comedy to drama by touching on the social issues that are important to teens today.
When we see Mercedes or Kurt sing, it's all the more powerful knowing what they've survived. Without a doubt, I've shed more tears watching Glee than any other show in the history of television.
As a musical series, Glee seemed likely to get tossed into television history's dumpster. But Fox took a gamble on a group of singing, dancing misfits and scored big.
FYI, the overnights were through the roof.
A unique mix of comedy, drama, and music has made Glee one of the most cutting-edge series on the television landscape. But the secret to Glee's success may in fact be hardwired into human nature. We all root for an underdog. And the story of Glee starts with a whole group of underdogs, a Glee club from Mount Prospect, Illinois.
Our first group of the afternoon set is from Prospect High School in Mount Prospect, Illinois. They are mixed company.
I was in show choir for 3 years in high school, and we were terrible. I knew at the time, like, what you're doing is sort of ridiculous. But it sort of plays on both sides of your brain, I guess. The side that wants to, like, laugh at it, and the other side that sort of wants to get up on stage and join in.
And in 2005, actor Ian Brennan sat down to write a film based on the experience.
And I was like, you know what? Someone's going to write something about a Glee club at some point, and if it's not me, I'm going to be really angry.
Undaunted by the fact that he had no idea how to write a screenplay, Ian put himself through a crash course. For a textbook, he selected Screenwriting for Dummies.
And then bought Final Draft, which is a screenwriting software, and then over the course of 4 weeks, wrote this screenplay called Glee. The movie script was much drier and darker, sort of a snarkier, darker turn, because I actually didn't love show choir. Like, it was one of the things that I couldn't really abide that I had done.
But without an agent to handle his script, Ian couldn't get anyone in Hollywood to read Glee. And so for the next 2 years, he was obsessed with getting his script into the right hands. In 2007, though, he caught a lucky break. A friend of Brennan's went to the same gym as a famous television producer.
He was at the gym with Ryan Murphy, and he sort of passed it to him.
At the time, Hollywood producer Ryan Murphy was at the helm of the award-winning and critically acclaimed FX series Nip Tuck.
I read it and I thought, well, I don't think that this subject material is necessarily a movie, but let's do it as a TV show.
And not just any TV show, Murphy envisioned a modern twist on the classic musical.
I didn't want to do a musical where people just broke out into song, and that seemed corny to me. I wanted to do something more rigorous and more as a tribute to sort of pop music.
Brendan worked with Murphy and his producing partner, Brad Falchuk, on a pitch for Glee, the television series. It had very little in common with the original film script.
Ian's script, was so adult that we didn't take anything from it at all. Really, we started from ground zero, and he was very open to doing that.
Ryan, Brad, and I working together, we had such I think, disparate talents and very different voices, but we just clicked.
Coming up with some big ideas, coming up with some small ideas of who the people are, and then all these people just kind of came to life out of our heads.
I sort of had this opportunity of a lifetime to be a writer, something that I'd sort of always secretly harbored inside of me, and so it was just amazing.
Ryan Murphy had a previous relationship with Dana Walden and Gary Newman at 20th Century Fox and took the pitch to them.
This was the person who had created Nip Tuck, so we were expecting it would probably be something edgy and dark, and he was pitching a high school Glee Club show. Let's just say the initial reaction was, oh my God. And then Ryan began telling the story in the pitch.
And he talked about this innovative, crazy idea to do a show set in high school that would have about 5 or 6 musical numbers in each episode.
It was so specific. The characters were so well drawn. Ryan was so passionate about it that it just came to life sitting in the room, and we just fell in love with what he pitched.
20th Century Fox bought the pitch, but they're just a production company. The hard part was still ahead, selling Glee to a television network. The concept was unlike anything else on the television landscape.
In 2008, we've got, your Law and Orders and all its spin-offs, and your CSIs and all these spin-offs. The shows that were really succeeding on network TV were these kind of predictable procedural dramas.
The television musical wasn't exactly an easy sell. This was a format that had failed spectacularly in previous outings.
Matter of fact, one of the most notorious failures of all time was a show called Cop Rock. The tendency with Cop Rock for most people was to burst into laughter.
But Glee was no Cop Rock. Walden and Newman took Murphy and his pitch to the Fox television network and its head, Kevin Riley.
And then the next thing we know, they said, okay, write the script.
He gave Ryan the green light to start writing.
We wrote the script very, very quickly. We handed in the script. We got one round of notes in which Kevin Riley said, you need a villain.
And I remember being on this conference call, me and Brad were sitting on a couch, and Ryan was sitting at his desk, and he just sort of sat up, and then he goes, yeah, I think it's going to be a cheerleading coach named Sue Sylvester, and I think we can get Jane Lynch. And Brad and I sort of looked at each other, and we were like, that sounds awesome.
My agent said they want you to play the cheerleading coach. Read it. Do you like it? And it's, Ryan Murphy is offering it to you, which is kind of a lovely situation. In the script, the description of Sue Sylvester in the pilot was Sue Sylvester may or may not have posed for Penthouse and may or may not be on horse estrogen. Well, I said I must play this role. I must.
Hello, boys. Who needs a pick-me-up?
Scene in the teacher's lounge where I bring in the lattes. Ryan yelled out to me from behind the camera. He says, say you like your scalding. And so I was like, okay, I know who this woman is. We're going to go extreme, extreme, extreme.
The recipient of Sue's verbal assault would be put upon choir director Will Schuster.
A lot of actors in Los Angeles went out for that part, and every Broadway actor went out for that part.
Tony nominee Morrison was starring on Broadway in South Pacific when he auditioned for the part.
I wanted to do something really, musical, and I thought, I play a little bit of ukulele, and I thought it was a very teacherly instrument, like an instrument that a teacher would use to teach kids. So I learned how to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I just had a really great audition.
Matthew Morrison is the definition of a triple threat.
Casting one triple threat was challenging enough, but finding enough kids who could act, dance, and sing would prove much more difficult.
Yeah, it was pretty daunting to cast Glee. It was overwhelming. I mean, when I first read the script, I was like, well, this is going to be really a challenge.
And it was a challenge that had the potential to make or break the show.